Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Bitcoin. Before we jump into the price action, I'd just like to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Okay, so for the most part, that we were talking about this yesterday. If we maintain this zone between this 26,982 to this 26,142, potentially we could still see a move to the upside, an additional wave towards this zone of this 28,533 to this 28,059. So that would just be a typical zone. Obviously, it would depend on the subwave structure here and whether this actually does look to push up even higher. So what we're looking for within this is a couple of things. So we can potentially argue this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 into here. Alternatively, we could also argue that within this there's some further extension, and basically we count this slightly different, and basically then we'd have basically a 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and then this looking for that fifth wave to the upside. So this hasn't violated that fourth wave potential. It is starting to get a little bit big within here, but it is still acceptable. It is possible that this fourth wave could actually have completed here, because we did come down towards this 382. So it is possible, we could be forming something like this as a 1, this is a 2, and then we start to progress to the upside as a 5-wave structure from this zone here. So if we maintain this area of this 26,578, potentially we can argue that we could see a move up here like this play out. The problem is this does leave a lot down to interpretation. You can't count this as an A with a B wave triangle in here and a C, and then that could be a complete move, and then this could be another leg of this where this becomes an A wave into this high point, and then we form another B and a C, and then that could just be an A, B, and then we're actually looking to come down deeper. Or alternatively, this could start to progress into something bigger here. It is also possible that this could be an A B, potentially a C into here, a D, and then we're looking for an E wave as a triangle. If that's the case, we'd be looking to actually maintain this low of this 26,827, and this would lead to a break to the upside. So it's going to be key here whether we actually hold this 26,578. If we do, we could actually look for a direct move up here, and potentially it could even be a diagonal that we get. So something like this, where this becomes an A wave here. Then we look at this as an A, B, C, D, E, and this triangle. We break up for that 1-to-1 move, and then basically we start to form something like this. So there's a lot of different things that can play out from this area. This is very, this move here, it's down to interpretation, really. If we do, however, look to if we do look to break to the downside from here, potentially what I'm looking for is actually a move back into this fourth wave area, this 26,128. If this 26,128 doesn't hold, then basically the next zone of support I'd be looking for would be down here towards this zone of this 25,754 to this 24,675. And this would be looking at that possibility of actually extending out here, where this becomes a 1, we come back for a 2, and then we look to progress up for a third wave. So if we do get something like this, what we'd be looking for if we did come back towards this zone of this 618, which would be this 25,303, potentially we could be looking for a bigger move to the upside here in another 5-wave sequence, looking to possibly move up towards this 32,239 range. And that could actually lead us to a bigger impulse here. And that would then make us look at this move slightly different. If we come back from further back here, what we would then be looking for is that possibility that this could be a 1, 2, and then possibly another 1, 2 here, and then we'd be within that bigger third wave to the upside, if that is the case, where this looks at as a bigger impulsive structure. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it. This is going to be a key zone. The alternative way we were looking at it is that if we actually are completed into this high, what we could start to do is form a bigger wave 2 to the downside, or a B wave, where actually, we could look at this possibility that this is a 1 and we're coming back down here for a 2. And then we're going to look to actually start to break down. So this is going to be a key zone if we do actually start to lose some of those key support zones. If we start to break down below this lower area here of this 24,675, it becomes more likely that potentially we are looking to actually come down and look for these lower support ranges here, potentially into this zone, the higher range if it's a shallow retracement. So this would be if we're looking, there's a couple of ways we can look at this. We could also argue that if we do break down in a 5-wave move, this could be a flat. This 24,275 to this 23,294 would be the zone we'd be looking for if that is the case. If it's a lot deeper retracement, potentially down towards these areas. But if we start to break down more impulsively, we would have to be careful of the fact that, this isn't a bigger corrective move here, or we've completed a bigger 5-wave move in here, and we get a bigger 3-wave structure down towards this zone of this 20,757 to the 17,104. So that's going to be our lowest sort of key area that we need to hold. So in the immediate short term, basically what I'm looking for, I'm still looking out for that possibility that within this, this could just be a flat correction. We are still within that zone. There is potentially a corrective way of counting this move to the upside. And if we do actually start to break down here, so what we'd be looking for is if it's going to be a running flat potentially in this zone of this 26,107 to this 25,137. If it's going to be expanding potentially lower here towards this zone of this 24,556 to this 23,664. So this is still something that can play out, and this is what's sort of tricky about this move down here at the moment. Potentially, even though we are looking at it as a triangle potentially in here, you could also argue that this could be forming some kind of a diagonal here where we get this as a 1, potentially this is a 2. We could be forming a B wave here for that wave 3. We get a 4th and a 5th, and then we get a diagonal to the downside here. And then we look to break down from there. We could also argue that within this we could be forming 1s and 2s, where this becomes basically a 1. We look at this as a 2 into here, a 1 and a 2, another 1 and a 2, and then basically we start to break down. So if we do start to break down impulsively, we need to be cautious. Like I said, once we start to lose this zone of this previous 4th here, this 121 area, basically we need to be on the lookout that this could actually be breaking down for a bigger structure to the downside here. So we're going to have to keep an eye on these subwave counting within here. Obviously, just looking at this from a resistance line perspective here, there's a descending wedge here. Potentially, if we do break to the upside, we could see that move, and then we could look for something like this, where we actually look to push up one more time. So keep an eye on that. If we do, basically what I would be looking for then would actually be the potential that within this move up, we could be looking to move up into this zone of this 28,533 to this 28,058. And that could be then looking to complete this move where we would have to then argue that potentially we've had a 4th wave in here and that we're actually looking to break to the upside. So like I said, this could be an A, a B, a C, a D, and an E that plays out, and then we break up. So keep an eye on that. If we start to lose these lows, so of this 26,578, that invalidates the possibility of this being a triangle within here. But even taking this high technically wouldn't invalidate it, because you could then argue that you have this as an A, B, C here. This could then be another A, B, and a C, and that could just be an A, B, and then we could be forming a bigger triangle here as well. So this is why it's so tricky currently. If we do break to the upside and we are looking for this continuation in this 5th wave, I've got some target areas which I'm currently looking at, and these would be in this zone here. So if we do break up here, potentially what we could see is a move up towards this 1-to-1 line could be an interesting zone. Alternatively, we do have within this box area that we're looking for as a typical 5th wave, we have the 0.382 of that 1-to-1, and this obviously that would bring us quite close to some of these trigger points here, or these 5th wave targets, to be this 28,059 and this 28,239 area. So there is a little bit of confluence up here. If we do push to the upside one more time, potentially these could be some of the areas. If it does extend out, potentially this 1618 might be an interesting zone. But we need to be cautious, because this could also just become another 1-2, and then it actually breaks up much higher. That would only be confirmed by a much higher move here. But really, until we actually start losing some of these key zones. So 29,327, then we could start potentially looking for another structure here where this becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And then, possibly within this, there could be some extension within this third wave. And then basically we'd have to see how we would have to see how this develops, because then this could be another 1, 2, this could be a 1, 2, and then, this could lead to additional structure up here. It's not confirmed yet, so we need to just be aware of that fact. This could do a lot of things here. What I'm going to be doing myself, I'm going to be seeing which way this looks to push, and if it does look to push to the upside, we'll be looking out for that possibility of that micro flat that we were talking about here, where we could see a move up towards this 27,750, retest these highs, and then see a sell-off down towards these zones. If this does play out, then it would be more likely that actually what we're doing here is that we're forming this as a second wave here, where this becomes an A, B, C as a flat, and then potentially we could actually look to come down towards this 50% zone. But we'd have to see exactly how that internal structure starts to play out, because, like I said, it is a tricky area. This could then put a B wave or wave 2 quite nicely in that zone of this previous fourth wave. So keep an eye on that area. If we do start to break down, see if we get a bounce off of there. If we do, then it could be possible that, like I said, within this, it is also, there's so many ways of looking at this. We could argue that in the middle here, we have an A, B, C, D, E, and this is a B wave completed. And then actually we're going to be looking to form this C wave to the downside, which would be actually looking for this B wave being in this position, and then basically looking for that possibility of the C wave to the downside as well. So, there is a few ways of looking at this currently, and just need to be a little bit patient and see what happens. That 1-to-1, if it does break down here, would bring us actually towards this zone of this 25,959, which would actually be looking to retest this high here. So that'll be an interesting zone as well to see how we react. But yeah, we need to see, because this does have potential to drop down here. This could be a completed move up here. We went through all these basically these options yesterday in more detail, but yeah, we need to hold these key zones if we are looking for that continuation to the upside. So I'll try to give you an update maybe a bit later if we get a bit more clarity to the moves, but for the most part, we need to just see whether this breaks up here and potentially looks to come target some of these higher levels here, or whether we manage to actually come back down and find support lower down here, towards this 50% area, or within this flat zone. If it the thing is, as a if we're trying to look at this as a flat, I wouldn't really like the idea of this B wave being in here. I would just then be looking at this as a WX and potentially a Y, where we're going to get a 3-wave move down into this zone, in which case that fourth wave target could be quite an interesting one. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find links to Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. As well as that, you will find affiliate links for both Primex BT and BYBIT down there, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. Check them out if you don't have an account. Using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care out there.